Follow me to the crib, to the crib, to the crib. Why don't you follow me to my place? To the crib, to the crib. Back in Jersey, yeah, yeah.
To New Music New Jersey, and I'm your host Apples, and tonight we are here in Queens, New York with a very special guest, and his name is Kango Kid. You might know him from the group UTFO. Hello, Mr. Kango.
How are you?
I'm great. I want to say thank you so much for coming on our show. Just to let you know, this is our 10th episode.
Woohoo!
So
yay!
We are very proud of what we have accomplished, and even more honored to have you celebrate that with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And then we also, I just saw you perform at the Boom Hip Hop Awards with a lot of the other legends as yourself. There was W Fresh, Roxanne Shante, DJ
Nice and Smooth.
Yes.
Who
DJ
else?
Red Alert.
Red Alert, Cool Herd, Marley Marl, family.
Yes.
My family was
and then they were there with the Stop Violence Awareness through STAT and HHC.
That's correct.
And how do you feel about that today with the violence that's come amongst us with the guns and everything? It's
a shame. I mean, there's really no other word to describe it. It's totally a shame. You know, back in my day, if there was any beef, you knuckled up and you handled it, with your hands. And it's just unfortunate that it's grown to where one doesn't cherish life the way they should. I mean, there's always going to be beef. You're always going to disagree with someone, but when your life now depends on this, corny little beef that exists, that's just stupidity. So the value of life isn't as recognized as it should be.
I totally agree with that. A lot of our young men and children are dying today because of guns more than ever. I want to say it's extremely sad.
Absolutely.
And nothing better than to have a bunch of the legends come together where you guys have started and helped founded hip-hop, with music. And you were with your group, UTFO.
That's correct.
And the first breakdancing group. Can you just tell me, how did you get started with that? Breakdancing?
First of all, the group has had so many firsts, or myself as an individual,
yes,
so many firsts. As for how I started breakdancing, television was was parent to many. When your parents go to work and they leave you with whatever babysitter, or sometimes a television without babysitter. And so, watching shows like Soul Train, or watching characters like Shields and Yarnell. That's way before you. I just, dated myself. But they were two individuals, a male and a female, that mined. So they did a lot of, a lot of mining. And so just watching things like that, I emulated everything that took place on television. So, and I'm happy to say I was a very good copycat. I'd watch something and, just invest time in the mirror until I perfect whatever that is. Television taught me how to dance, taught me how to sing. The radio was another babysitter of mine. That's back in the day when you had a choice between purchasing an AM/FM radio or an AM radio, and the AM radio was the least expensive of the two. So my parents purchased AM radios for us, and all the pop songs played on that. So I grew up on, Elton John and Wings and all these 70s pop groups I had to actually backtrack to, teach myself about what was going on in the Motown era, because I totally skipped that and just dug into all the pop stuff.
Oh, wow.
So all those things taught me how to become an entertainer. And, I was always a fan of family groups. So I loved the Jacksons, the Osmond brothers, the Silvers. I said I wanted my brothers and I to be like them. And that taught me how to write songs. And, again, just emulating things. And so at a young age of like 8 years old, I knew I wanted to be an entertainer. Didn't say I wanted to be a rapper, all right, because there wasn't, such thing as, rap artists or hip hop at the time. But I knew I wanted to be an entertainer. And so that's what got me started, television.
I would say so. 8 is a rather young age. But I did see you breakdancing, and the way you moved, it was almost like you were like a slinky, like your body. I was like, how did he do that?
There was a certain way that I used to sit. My mom told me I always sat and watched TV this particular way, where my butt was on the ground, but my legs were
put on that.
And it's like it formed the letter M, and I would just sit flat. And I also noticed that I can sit in that position and just lay on my back.
Oh, wow.
And so I don't know if that was double jointed or what that was, or if I just, groomed myself to sit that way. But I incorporated that move in my breakdancing moves, and that became one of our most popular, competition-winning dance moves, where I would actually lift off the ground from that, call that the rise. And we've won so many contests with just that one move.
And so with UTFO, the hit song, the first hit song.
Ah, man, you know what? That was actually our second single.
Okay.
Our first song was a song called Beats and Rhymes.
Beats and Rhymes, okay.
And Beats and Rhymes, did its thing West Coast, down south, and we got a few airplay, in New York City. And when it was time to do our second single, we worked on a song called Hanging Out. And we spent 3 weeks on Hanging Out, knowing that was going to be the single. And we put everything into it. With singing chorus, melodic verses, musical. Full Force was our producers, and these guys were the local band, most popular band in Brooklyn. And so we put 3 weeks into the song, gave it to the record company, and they said, okay, sounds cool. We'd like something for the B-side. And we were pissed. We're like, look, this song's ready to go, man. Just put it out. And he insisted, we do a B-side. So we went to Full Force and, tried to come up with a new song. But we tapped out of ideas. So our producer, B-Fine, the drummer for Full Force, said, let's do a song called Roxanne.
But she was walking down the street, so I said, hello, can't go from the TFO.
And we said, okay, why Roxanne? And he said, I like the name. He said, okay, fine, let's just do it. What do you want us to write about? So he says, all right, Doc. He said, Kang, I want you to write about how you're trying to get this girl and she doesn't give you the time of day. E, I want you to do the same. And then, Doc, I want you to do the same, but at the end of the song, you get her. I was like, oh, no, why he got to get her? And he said, all right, fine, nobody gets her. I said, all right, bet. So we went home, wrote our verses, came back, and we did that song in 3 days.
Oh, wow.
That became the hit. And we didn't even expect that. We just gave it to the company and said, all right, cool, well, you just put this out so Hanging Out can become the hit that we believe it's going to be. And no one cared or heard Hanging Out. They went right to Roxanne.
Wow.
And that was the instant hit.
Now, Roxanne Shante, did you know her prior to?
Hell no.
So how did that come about then?
That's a funny story, man. Let me just break that down to you. Okay. Full Force had the idea of doing a remake. An answer to our song. And so we had a show that we were supposed to do with Mr. Magic, God rest his soul, and Fly Tie. They were the radio crew back in the day. And so they also played a role in blowing the song up for us. So they had a show. They told me the story years after the fact. Like, I didn't even know what took place. But what had happened is they set up a show with my manager, God rest his soul as well, Steve Salem. And it was a Christmas show that we were supposed to do. And so what happened is the song blew up. It started, hitting nationwide. And whatever amount of money they agreed on for us to do the show, we were getting 3-4 times that amount by now. And so when it came time to commit to this Christmas show, my manager pulled out, and we did another show that was paying much more. That pissed Mr. Magic and them off. So they contacted Marley Marl and Shantae and said, you know, we wanted to do a song dissing them.
Three guys, and you know that's true. Let me tell you and explain them all to you.
For not showing up to the show. So it wasn't even a record. They just put it on cassette and they played it on the show. And it got a lot of responses and everyone, requests, to play it over and over. And that success of that made it a record. So Full Force was pissed. We were pissed. The record company was pissed as well because they used our instrumental to do this. So there was lawsuits involved, all kinds of mess that took place. And so Full Force put together a young lady, they put together a project called The Real Roxanne. Okay. And that young lady was to combat Shantae. So you're not the real one, this one is the real one. And so we did that. And that became the second answer. Then Sparky D got involved, and I think she became the fourth. And then everyone else started to keep up with the latest episode. And you had Roxanne's doctor, Roxanne's uncle, Roxanne's sister. It was just a hip hop soap opera. What it turned into. I started writing songs before I started writing raps. And with UTFO, we did a ballad, a song called Fairy Tale Lover. And the group was not a fan of the song because they said, we're a rap group, we're not a singing group. And Full Force actually, really liked the song, so they worked on the group and worked with me on putting this whole song together. And that became a big hit for us. The group didn't want to continue in an R&B mode. And there were several songs that I, wrote at the time that the group passed on. So I decided to create another group, and whatever songs UTFO passed on, I would give to this other group. And that group was Whistle. And the members of that group rapped as well as sang. So it made sense for me to produce them as both, as a rap group and a singing group. And they became actually the first rap group to become an R&B group. Because later they left the whole rap thing alone and just started to record R&B songs back to back.
You actually were the first rap group to appear on the Apollo.
Yeah, let me run down the list of that first. Okay.
He's the first of many.
Yeah. Let's see. Doc and I are the first break dancers for a rap group. So as you notice, with every group after the group was Houdini. After Houdini, every rap group came out with 2 dancers at the least, to incorporate a good hip hop show. So Doc and I were the first dancers for a rap group. UTFO, first rap group to appear at the Apollo Theater. First rap group to do an R&B ballad. I'm the first hip hop artist to rap in Pig Latin.
Oh wow!
So how you have Snoop Dogg now saying for shizzle. Well, that came from when I did what I did. Biz a trizza, to kism, mincinizm, the wisdom, like all of that was me back then. And Snoop will tell you, he'll tell you straight up, he got all that from me. I'm the first Haitian American in hip hop music. Everyone recognizes Wyclef as being that individual, and that is because he was the first vocal with it. At the time, and I've said this in several interviews, it wasn't cool to be Haitian. So that wasn't something you wanted to share out loud. That was a strike against you. Not to mention, when I was doing this thing called hip hop, society wasn't taking on to this, form of music. There was a lot of, the music industry itself didn't recognize hip hop as music. So I had that battle that I had to fight. So why add on to that and go, hey, I understand you guys don't accept me as a musician. By the way, I'm Haitian. Why would I want to throw that extra strike, against me? So it took for me to do what I did for Clef to do what he's doing. So it made it cool for him to say, I'm who I am. And so he definitely gets the credit for that. But I am the first in hip hop for that. I'm the first product endorsed hip hop artist. How about that?
Yes. Kango.
That's correct. Kango hat.
Now, how did that come about with Kango?
That wasn't a name that I gave to myself. That was all my high school buddies that called me, Kid Kango or Kango Kid. And the reason why is I went to Catholic school before I went to high school. And in Catholic school, you were restricted to wear your white shirt, plaid tie, navy blue pants. And I hated that. I hated that wearing that uniform thing. And so by the time I got out of high school, I asked my mom. I mean, I got out of junior high school. I asked my mom, "Can I go to a public high school and wear what I want to wear?" And she finally agreed. And so, as a form of liberation, I purchased my first Kangol hat and said, "Okay, I can wear this to school because there's no restrictions." And I wore it every day. And you know how you got a kid in school that wears glasses, and you're so used to seeing him with his glasses on, but the day that he takes it off, you go, "Wow, you look weird without your glasses on." Yeah. That was me the day that I took the hat off. I came to school one day without the hat, and everyone looked at me weird. And I said, "Okay, I'm never taking this off again." And so so I generated the name, or whatever the name was given to me as a Kangol Kid. And so when I became an artist, I went on with the name, and I was introduced to something called lawsuit. The Kangol Headwear threatened to sue us for using the Kangol brand, the name, unlawfully. And I'm 17-year-old kid. All I know is the word sue is something bad. I didn't know what it meant, but I knew I needed this to stop. And so the record company was dealing with the Kangol Headwear company for it. And so finally what was said is they realized that every city we performed in, their sales went up. And so they agreed to not to sue. And they said I can use the name on a year-to-year basis, provided that I do nothing to discredit the company, and they couldn't take the name back now if they wanted. So what they did do is provide me with headwear, and so thereby making me the first product endorsed hip-hop artist.
What do you feel about hip-hop today?
I get asked that question a lot.
Yeah, what are your views on that?
It's, I think I have the best view for it, and you tell me. I'm a parent, and when I say a parent, I mean a parent as a father of 3 sons, and I'm also a parent in this game called hip-hop, because I birthed a lot of what's been taking place. And any parent that has more than one child in their household has their favorite. They won't admit it, they probably won't say it out loud, but they have their favorite. And their favorite would be the kid who does his homework, who cleans his room, who obeys and follows, what he does what he has to do, tries to make his parent happy. You have that child. Then you got the knucklehead. You got the one that you gotta stay on top of him to do his homework or clean his room and so on. And though you have that child, you love all your children the same. So I say that to say, in hip hop, yes, there's knuckleheads, and there's a few cats that I'm not a fan of what they're doing, but they are all my children. There's a lot of negativity that has taken place that has caused hip hop to grow. You've had hip hop artists say things like "F the police." I may not have ever said "F the police" on record, but then that individual did, so much so that he got the attention of the president. So you gotta sit there and go, "Wow, that wasn't cool what he did," but the president just said the word hip hop. As to say hip hop today, I have to catch myself at times when I say, when did I become my parents? My parents never dug what I was doing as a hip hop artist. That's not music. They didn't understand what was going on. And so here I am today as an adult, listening to today's hip hop and going, "That ain't hip hop." And when I say that, "Ooh, I sound like my parent. Let me chill." You know what I mean? So I have to respect the fact that that was mine back then, and it's theirs today. It ain't mine today. It's theirs.
You did mention your sons.
Mm-hmm.
You have 3 of them.
Yes.
And they have a group called Plan B. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, actually, one of my sons was a member of Plan B. My middle son, AJ, was a vocalist for the group. He's also a songwriter. My oldest, T-Sean, is a producer, composer, and my youngest is a vocalist and dancer. And so Plan B was my son AJ's group, in which my son Sean helped me put some tracks together for them, and he played a role as management, took care of a lot of the business for them, and they were the winners of BET's Wild Out Wednesday, 106 & Park's Wild Out Wednesday competition. They were the first winners for that ever. And they had a great run, exactly. So as time goes on, groups disband and stuff, and so that's what happened with them. And my 3 sons now are working together, as an act.
So now, I do know that you have been involved in the Mama Luke, and you
Yes.
have founded that in 2010.
Yes.
With it came to with his manager's mom, May.
Yeah,
Okay.
Gay Francis
Gay
Lucas.
Francis Lucas
Mhm.
passed away from breast cancer.
That's correct.
2010, May of 2010.
Yep.
Okay. And you got all your hip hop buddies together, all these legends together, and
Well-
like, I mean, how did you feel? Like, how did all this come about? Can you-
I've never been one that just talks. You know, if I talk, it's just to let you know what I'm gonna do. After that, I gotta do it. And my kids know this when it comes to, you know, discipline. If I say it, I gotta do it. And I said I was gonna do something regarding what took place with her death. And so I did. I mean, you know, I'm not putting anyone on blast when I say this, but you know, this was my first time being affected by someone who passed from breast cancer. I know other people who have had family members go left and right from this disease. And I guess they accepted it like it's a way of life. I'm not that dude. You know, when someone would come to me after she passed and say, my condolences, or she's in a better place, or, you know, I'm sorry to hear that. Those, you know, I understand that's the best that they can do, but that was unacceptable for me. So I said, we gotta do something. We gotta bring awareness. Let everyone know that this is, you know, this is taking away our loved ones, and you know, and the best way for me to do this, my strengths when it comes to society, is you know, what I do in this music industry. So I reached out to my first line of defense, which is hip hop, and called all my hip hop brothers and sisters and said, look, you know, Mama Luke used to walk in Newark, New Jersey for breast cancer, and we should all get together and do that as well. And just placing that phone call, everyone said, no problem, I'm there. And not to mention, I didn't know this, but a lot of them has had family members affected by this also, and this just gave them an avenue to express that. And so immediately they all hopped aboard and joined us to do this. And we became one of the top 10 fundraising teams in Newark, New Jersey from doing this. And so that just became infectious. I was like, oh, hold up, we did what? Oh, hold up, we can take this to another level. And so I decided to make that happen. I started to address companies, and you know, for support, I reached out to a good friend of mine named James Dobbins, and I said to him, and he's a fashion executive, and said, look, you know, I need you guys to help me with some T-shirts. Let's put the logo on this. Let's get the word out. And reached out to various other people in the business and got a lot of support. And one of the things that took place after we walked, one of the T-shirts that we wore, we took that and had the artists that walked with us all sign the shirt. And so that became a movement in itself, in which other artists that heard about this wanted to sign. We also targeted a few artists and asked them to sign this shirt as well. And actually have this shirt here. So
wow. Now this is the shirt that's all over.
Yeah, this is.
Oh my God.
This is hip hop's weapon against breast cancer. Every hip hop artist has signed this. Let me just show you some of the signatures on here. Here's Will Smith. You know, you can pick out whatever name you see. Africa Bambaataa.
Oh my God.
Flavor Flav right here in the center. LL Cool J. Let's see, Damon Dash. Busta Rhymes, Milk D.
Is that Joel Santana?
That's Joel Santana over there. Let's see, Split Star.
Treat Cancer.
Fab Five Freddy. Lauryn Hill.
Oh wow.
Let's see, you name it, they're on this.
For Mama Luke, this is what you have done, going around getting all the artists to sign this. And
That's
what
correct.
What are you going to do?
Well, the intention is to auction this off, and the money generated from this will go to the American Cancer Society.
You are amazing.
Oh,
You are awesome.
man.
You
Thank
are
you.
doing so many great things. I don't think you wear so many different hats besides the Kango hat.
Okay.
But you do so much. And I just want to ask just one last question.
Sure.
How do you balance it all? From being a CEO of you have your own PR company, you have a production company, you manage artists, you're traveling around the world, and you actually have to go to LA to finish getting the shirt signed.
I gotta go a few places. We gotta go back to Atlanta to get more artists. We're going to LA as well as to the Bay Area, Oakland area, and get artists there. So how do I do all this? Determination. You know, that's all it is. I don't know how to lose. I don't want to learn. How about that? So everything is, taking it a step closer to that goal. Every day is it's a process. I hate sleeping because I feel like I'm wasting time. When I am up, I make sure that I have my things to do list set, and I enjoy looking at my things to do list a week later and realize I did all of those things. Like I cross off everything that I do. It's a never-ending job, and the other philosophy to all of this: if I don't, who will? No one's gonna care more about this than I do. And so it's my job to lead and show everyone, here's how this is done. Here's the standard that I'm setting for this. I need everyone to do it at this level or higher. And so I have to be that representation, that role model, for everyone. And I'm okay with it. I do it because I can. If I can't, then it's my job to find someone who can to make it happen. So it's a lot of work. Somebody's got to do it.
Wow. And he said it best. And I just want to ask you, just for our New Jersey artists out there, and artists all over that are, pursuing their dreams and their goals and working hard, what kind of advice can you give to them?
First advice I'd give to everyone out there is education. And I don't want to sound like the cliche where everyone says, stay in school and, do all that. That is important. You should do that. That's absolutely the case. But for those that want to be entertainers, there's another form of education that you should, get involved in, and that's the music business. Cats forget that that's what it's called. They say, I want to get, I want to be an entertainer, I want to be a rapper, I want to get into music. They forget that other word. It's music business. And if this is what you want to do, which is a job, then you got to know your craft. You got to know the business. You got to understand how all that works behind the scenes. For example, like everybody wants to be, this is an example, everybody wants to be Tony the Tiger, when what you should be focusing on is being Kellogg's, because Tony is just the face on the box. Kellogg's is the company that's keeping Tony visible, and if Tony doesn't do his job right, no problem. Get rid of him, and let's get that frog. And Kellogg's is handling that individual. You out of here, Tony. But Kellogg's is not falling. So everybody wants to be the artist, and that's not really the focus right now. You need to really get your business in order. So my advice to cats would be, use something that we didn't have. What that is the internet. We created a lot of this thing, a lot of these things that's taking place, and it took for us to make a lot of mistakes for these cats to be as successful as they are right now. So there's no excuse right now. There's no reason why any of these cats out here should make any mistakes, because we already made it for you. You know what I mean? So my advice to you guys is education. Do your homework. Go online. You can just Google anything and it'll give you the answer. So there's no reason why you should fail right now. Get your education up to par and get your business up.
And you've heard from Kango Kid himself, a man of many different things, and he has been the first at a lot of things, meaning you can do it too. You don't have to be a follower. You too can be the first. It's okay to be different. Mm-hmm. And, people will actually follow. You never know. Okay? So, with that being said, Kango, I really enjoyed you being here on our show.
Thank
you. Means so much to us.
Thank you.
You
did a great job at this. I see why you guys got 10 shows, in the can right now and moving on to your 11th and so on. You did a great job. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And no one was expecting this, but, we wanted to make sure that you were available because I know that you do so much, and I'm
real busy. It is true.
It is just an honor to be here. I'm such a big fan of everything that you do. I think you're
so
awesome.
Much.
Thank you for
I'm blushing. Stop.
All right, you guys, and I'm your host from New Music New Jersey, Apples, and again, I am here with Mr. Kango Kid himself. And you never know, we might be seeing you next time.
Absolutely. I'll be back.
Bye-bye, guys.
You guys take care.